All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming. In the last video, we wrote the HTML for the newest version of our BMI program. And if you look at it right now, it doesn't look like much, to be honest with you. It looks like this. Okay, so now we're going to write some CSS. We probably won't get it all done in this video, and that's totally fine. But I'm going to go over to my styles.css, and we'll leave the body here and just get rid of that and start putting some stuff in here. Still am getting that blinking thing. I don't know why. Hopefully that fixed it. All right, so again, I'll have, we'll start with our font family, and that'll be Arial, Helvetica, and sans serif. Let's have margin 0 and padding 0, because we'll basically set those up as we go. And let's set up a different background color. Okay, a little bit of an off-white kind of camel, whatever you want to call it. All right, next we'll do our container. Max width will be 400 pixels. We'll put some margin on there. The rest will let it automatically be configured. So background color, you can say just background instead of background color if you want. I'm used to saying it that way. Make that white for the container. 20 pixels of padding all around. Border radius, let's make it, I don't know, 8 pixels, a little bit of a rounded effect. Let's do a box shadow on here. Now, we haven't done very much right now, but just to show you, in the little bit here that we have done, let me move this down. So in this, it's already starting to take shape a little bit. See? All right. Again, I'm not, believe me, it's so far from done, but just to show you that we're getting a start on it. All right. Our H1 tag, let's put some margin bottom on there. Let's give that some color for the text. Just a little off black, so to speak. Not going to do much with the form. Little margin bottom on there. Now I have moved where I was sitting before, so if you hear me pause, it's because I don't want you to have to hear the grandfather clock going. calculation in there for the width. Okay. This is going to put a small gap so the buttons aren't going to be thrown into one another. Okay. Again, I like to say background color. You don't have to. I've mentioned that before, I believe. All right. Nice, Jeffrey. This is the pound result H2. So in other words, that's the only one it's going to affect, is the one that's inside of my result ID. Same with the paragraphs in here. So again, not done, probably about a third done, maybe a little bit more than that, but let's take a look. See if it's coming to be a little bit here. Should get that JavaScript out of there. So you can see, looking a lot nicer than it did. Now, the reason I wanted to show you that is right here. This is the overlay. So when we press the Show Totals button, it's going to appear in here. This is going to appear in here. Now, it won't until I put the JavaScript in. All right? But right now you can see what it looks like. All right, let's keep going. So again, the next part is going to be the overlay. So let's see. I forgot how you put in comments in CSS. I thought that was right. Oh, maybe it is. We'll just put here overlay. Oops. overlay. All right. So remember what's in there. There's the totals overlay, which is going to be full screen backdrop. There'll be the totals box, which is going to float above the page. The totals box paragraphs. The total box span, which is going to have the numeric count, and then our close button. All right. I can't remember if I think I call it total overlay. We're going to find out in a bit. Let's look. Totals overlay. Now that display none is probably the key thing because it will not show until we tell it to show. Here's a little trick. Inset 0, which is the same thing as saying it's a shorthand for setting the top margin, bottom margin, left margin, and right margin all to 0 at one time. We'll give it a big Z index of 1,000, so it'll sit above everything else when we, oops, not Dynex. Z index, there we go. All right, take a quick look. See, it's hidden. All right, let's jump back into here. So when JavaScript adds the visible class, the background is going to become flex. In other words, it's going to activate the stuff we did above. So when it is visible, we want to display it flex. Here will be this white card that we call totals box. Sorry, let the clock go. It's not background, it's background. There we go. All right. And we need the heading for this. I think I'm just going to keep going. I'm about 2/3 of the way done with this, so I'm going to finish it up on this video. All right, this is going to be for each row. So those are the totals. All right, we want to remove the bottom border from the last row. Finally, the numbers that we're going to put in there. So and lastly, the button to close. And the close button when we hover. Okay, now unless I've made mistakes, and hopefully I haven't, that's it for the CSS. Now, again, remember that that is being hidden right now. Okay, so we still don't see it. We won't see it until we click the Show Totals button. And there's no code in there to do that yet. So, all right, when I come back, I'm going to add the JavaScript. See you then.